We intend to offend. We will offend. And if you have a delicate sensibility, click the X button in the corner. Or if you're on a Mac, the red button in the left corner. Monty, welcome to the show of offending people.
Well, it never happened and I make shit up. So for the last couple of weeks, everyone that has asked for a reading, apparently you're all from Scotland, from Hurley in Scotland. You all live the same lives. It's very metaphysical, because we're all one. And I can't read the Akashic Records. I didn't even have a card.
Welcome to another adventure into comedy. I am joined by intrepid comedical co-host Monty Dean and Senior with the new mustache, Bruce McDonald.
Greetings. How are you today?
I am doing good today. It's the day of bad accents.
Yes.
Buenos tardes.
And Bruce, the Magnum PI of the Talamanca Mountains.
Solving crime, one holiday at a time.
Now, for all of you that are new, go ahead.
I always considered a mustache the domain of a cop or a pervert, but up here in the mountains, I just don't care anymore.
Yes. Now, if you are new to a comedy show done by a spiritual master, we intend to offend, as our opening credits said. If you're one of those people who wants to have a reading and wants to know your motherfucking purpose, this is not the show. Call back on a Thursday. If you are going, I want to know about baby raping lizard wizards, and why aren't you telling me about the future, and why don't you agree with David Wilcock, blah, 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 fuck off. This isn't the show for you. Click the X button on the side, or on a Mac, the red dot on the other. We intend to offend. We shall offend. And guess what? If we don't live up to your version of comedy, and you want to go and troll the thing, Ronnie's not funny, fuck off. Okay? You would come on and try to do 2 straight hours of comedy nonstop, unprepared.
Improvised.
Yes.
As well, you do actually have a purpose. It's laugh, you bastards.
Exactly. Not to mention, it's 7:00 in the morning for Monty.
Yeah. I'm still in the dream state.
Exactly. So you all you Monty haters out there, you learn to love Monty. Or guess what? I will make Monty the grand master of this show, and he's going to talk for 2 straight hours.
Yeah, that just gave me an idea, Andrew. On the next Thursday show, I'm going to ask you how I can feed off their anger.
Ooh, we're going to tap into troll power.
Yeah, it's like, the more you give me, the stronger I am.
Feel the power of the troll.
The troll side is very, very...
It believes you aren't funny. It truly believes you aren't funny.
You underestimate the power of the troll side.
Exactly. Now,
yeah, because
tell the troll a joke. Tell the troll a joke.
Well, actually, I can actually
Strike
start with
him down with your comedy power.
Strike him down and take your place beside me. Yeah.
Take your place as MC of the comedy show.
I've been watching Return of the Jedi again. Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Let the comedy flow through you.
Yeah. Put on clown makeup, for you are a leftard.
Exactly.
Now,
embrace your comedical co-host energy and feel the power.
Make connections that no other person can possibly imagine in an amusing way.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, I think Elon Musk still thinks he's on Saturday Night Live, because he just recently tweeted, "It's about time we have a carbon tax." I'm like, Elon's changed since he's spent a week in NBC.
No, I think he's trolling. I think he's trolling.
Well, we don't know now, because when he did Saturday SNL, he jokingly said Dogecoin is a hustle, and the numbers plunged.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, I think humanity is awesome, but then there's this element of, like, you know, people are dumb, and then you have an example like this. I'm like, yeah. Humans are flawed, but I love them from afar.
So if you are listening on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or anywhere else and want to be actually a part of the interactive show where we look at the chat room, you must be here in the Zoom room. I am not going to tell you how to get here because you are all capable internet intelligent people who can figure out how to put a meeting number and a passcode and enter a URL number. It seems in the past we have had people that are computer illiterate and or lazy who are unable to enter Zoom meeting number 91100111974 and passcode 4457500. For some reason, it keeps failing on them. Whatever gremlins they have are their gremlins. Now, if you are one of those people with an old phone, like a dial-up phone and all that, there's phone numbers for you call in US, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, and you can listen and still be a part of the show. You can still raise your hand. You can still interact with everything that's going on here. You just can't be a part of the chat room on your phone. That's why we advise people with smartphones to use the power of the internet.
I also like to point out we are not Joe Biden, and we don't judge Hispanics and blacks and the ability to get on the internet.
Correct. And we are officially socially distanced here on Zoom, so we are maskless.
Oh, but no, but the CDC, you don't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated. But now apparently there's a fear.
Are any of us here vaccinated? No.
Well, not the latest one. No, I don't think I haven't been vaccinated since the 20th century. But you know, my niece has more vaccines than I have, and she's 6.
I think the last time I had a vaccine was probably 2004, and that was a flu vaccine. Which I ended up later getting the flu from.
No, a vaccine that contains the flu gave you the flu.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my mum has the flu shot every year, and I'm like, just tell me when, and you won't see me for 2 weeks. And my dad and my stepmom are having the jab on the 1st of June, so hopefully it's a good one. Actually,
so Bruce, hold on a second. Bruce, we would like for you to channel your inner mustache man. Are you offering mustache rides to the chat room?
Ew.
No. No.
It was tempting, even
but
$4 mustache rides.
No, it was very tempting, and then it occurred to me that my wife can beat me in a physical fight. That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah,
well, and you must offer her a mustache ride.
And Bruce is surrounded by his wife's family. All 300 of them as well.
So as a Spanish person, do you think she even knows what a mustache ride is?
Yeah, I'm
okay,
pretty
she
sure.
does. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Mi amor,
sure.
Come here.
Pretty sure.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
And then we see a fist come out. Poof.
I must say Latin America is the most sensual of all the Catholic cultures I've been in. They have no problem with the body, and not like the Irish or the Italians or anything like that, or Scottish Catholic like myself. But they just sort of have no problem with it. So yeah, mustache rides are mandatory in a marriage over here.
Wow. Well, it appears we have somebody in the chat room who must be a doomer, gloomer, boomer that does not even know what a mustache ride is. Figure it out. Ponder. Use the power of your brain, knowing that this is a comedy show and there's a dual meaning behind it.
Yeah, or just go to YouTube and put in Monty Python "Sit on My Face." That's a minute worth of song that you'll discover what it is. Yeah. Sit on my face and tell me that you love me. It's so funny. Like when they were doing, they stopped doing television, so they started recording records, and they got in the famous men singing group from the BBC, and the reactions were like, "You want me to sing this?" It works though.
The irony of people suddenly figuring out what a mustache ride is. Thank you, Frida, for sharing your innocence and having an aha moment here.
See, yeah, it's still it's spiritual comedy. So through the comedy, you get spiritual. And that's why Andrew does the warning disclaimer at the start. If you don't find things funny, you need to evolve spiritually. That's my get out of jail free card. You're not laughing. Oh, clearly you need to do work. I mean,
exactly. Clearly you didn't do any inner work.
Yeah, it's like, I'm spiritual, and you say a joke. I'm offended. Like, yeah, doing well. But it's not love and light. Yeah, but we live in a duality, you twit.
We're the other spiritual guys.
Yes, we're the other spiritual guys.
The other white spirituality.
You thinking what I'm thinking, Monty? The bushes?
We gotta trim those bushes.
The family?
That's gotta be the funniest scene I've ever seen in a buddy comedy movie like that, when not Denzel, but The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson jump off the building, and they're supposed to hit the tree and they miss, and they're on the sidewalk, and the other guys take over.
Yeah, that was a great movie. Great buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
And he's got the wooden gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Office Pop.
The other. Thank you, Albert. Yes, we are the other spiritual guys.
I'm just waiting for The Rock to have a sex allegation, and I'm sure someone in the journalistic world that thinks they're a comedy, the headline will be between the Rock and a hard place. Yeah, thank you. There's the support that I need.
I'm kidding. I get it.
The irony of this world that we live in. Yeah, now, I want to talk about irony for just a second here. What's the most ironous moment you have had, Monty and Bruce? Really ponder. What is the most ironous moment you've had? And a chat room too.
The one that comes to mind straight away is it's ironic that Americans don't get irony. So there is that as a collective, not individually.
Well, I mean, I can't even narrow it down. Everything's ironic now. Being the word guy, let me give an official Oxford Concise Dictionary definition for irony. It's when the intended meaning of something you say is the literal and diametric opposite of what it actually means. So everything is ironic now. Everything is inverted. That's what I see going on in the world. I mean, to pick one, what is the most? I don't even have a scale for that kind of metric. It's like you would need one of those truck weigh-in centers to get a grasp on the level of irony now.
By the definition of irony, we've reached so irony that irony is no longer irony anymore. It's reversed itself.
Same with
irony
parody
is normal.
Parody and satire. And also, I was lucky enough to read a book that's coming out mid-June, where the idea put forward is even the concept of time is ironic. I'm like,
exactly.
It's like a friend of mine who teaches like everything's an illusion except time, and when I'm in the room, it's like, yeah, but time's an illusion as well. Yeah, I know, but that people aren't at that level yet.
Yeah. So, yeah, the irony of time is that when you get to a certain, you can transcend it in your consciousness. So time is temporary. There's the irony.
Time is temporal. Wah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to use my irony on my shirty so I can go to worky.
And have an iron shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it ironic? You have an iron shirt at work.
Yeah, I've seen a stand-up comic from Ireland rip apart that song. Isn't it ironic? You're looking for a fork and you find 10,000 spoons. Question: who the hell has 10,000 spoons? You have a problem. Like, buy a spork.
Oh, people collect spoons. I had a great aunt who had an absolutely brilliant teaspoon collection.
Yeah. Did she have a heroin problem?
No.
Okay. She had a spoon problem. There are spoons. No, there is instead of there is no spoon, there are spoons everywhere.
Yeah, that my mum collected spoons as well, and just check to see if there's any black markings underneath. I'm just going. The power of spork. Yeah, why have three?
You ever actually try to use a plastic spork to eat?
I think I have. It doesn't work. You need a metal one that's sharp.
On the pre-processed cardboard food that it comes with.
Yeah, like I keep passing McDonald's and I keep thinking that's a good idea, like not a good idea to get McDonald's. Just McDonald's is a good idea, but the application's really bad.
Yeah, well, if they continue with this pandemic prison analogy, beginning with the lockdown, the sporks will be arriving at your homes pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. They will, along with your local prison guard.
Well, according to the CDC, according to the CDC, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask, and it's like, wow, you've changed again. And former Vice President Joseph Biden has actually tweeted. Now, imagine if Trump had tweeted this. New rule: if you've been vaccinated, get vaccinated or wear a mask. The choice is yours. And geez, Twitter went for a field day with that. Basically, I've just seen a lot of "fuck you."
Man, net, fish, eat day. I'm Joe Biden.
Yeah, I actually put that meme up on.
I know. That is your best area of comedy. Actually, is memes. Almost like 99% of them crack me up.
Yeah, I got fact checked for that
you got
meme.
Fact checked.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, Joe Biden didn't say this. No, really? Isn't it ironic you don't have a sense of humor?
So I want to thank Albert for this one. I used to like a girl that only hung out with me because she liked my married friend / girl. They got together. They married friend divorced her rich husband and got nothing from the divorce. And then they got married and now they're divorced. Now you hear something ironic. I have an uncle that married the same woman 3 times.
And the cycle repeats.
He literally married the same woman 3 times. Okay.
Some people do that for the passion. I used a lawyer in Atenas, Costa Rica, when I used to live there 5 years ago, who had divorced and remarried his wife 5 times. And it was just some little passion play the two of them went through. It was quite something.
I blame the soap operas.
Yeah, Phil Donahue married his wife twice.
Oh, what the marriage? The marriage office. Jerry's back. Oh, it's the same woman. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. You think you're making a mistake? We'll find out in a year, won't we?
Yeah. Again.
You'll be back. Don't worry. You'll be back.
This is not like Baker. Yeah, this is not Baker's Delight, where after 4 marriages, the 5th one's free. That's not how it works here.
So Anna, yes, this lifetime married the same woman 3 times in a span of 25 years.
Yeah. Uncle Dave's getting married again. Who to? The same woman. We've done this twice. Like, I'm wearing the same dress. Fuck
right.
It.
You don't know how much I love you.
So Bruce, you said you were going to start writing Spanish soap operas. What kind of Spanish soap operas are you going to write?
Oh my God, I love all of the soap operas in Latin America come out either Colombia or Mexico. About 80% come out of Colombia and about 20% out of Mexico. And it's just, they're all kind of like Dallas in the 80s, but the drama and the look is just to the max. It's a 10 out of 10, right? And everybody's got the attitude, the chin up, and they're just, you don't even have to speak Spanish. You just watch the pictures and you can pretty much guess what's going on. The body language is so descriptive.
You should get that NGO that came around to fund a studio to do soap operas on the Talamanca Mountains.
Just call it Abaca.
Oh, there's the
Abaca
really.
As the Abaca grows. As the Abaca grows. It starts with 3 Nicaraguan laborers arguing with their wives.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a really good sitcom up here, man, between all the characters up here, the Cape Carn natives, the Nicaraguan laborers, the single men, crackhead alcoholics, and it's just you could really. I have one question.
I have one
thinking
question.
Of doing a little YouTube channel. Just like My Life in the Talamancas.
Yes, My Life in the Talamancas. I always threatened I was going to write a soap opera when I ran coffee shops called As the Coffee Pot Drips.
So when I read the comments in Facebook groups that are related to expats in Costa Rica, and like 90% of the people live in gated communities, I'm reading their comments. Man, are we even living in the same country? What are you talking about? It's just such a different experience, right? When you go somewhere and you go into a little let's call it gringo town like Chinatown, and I rented a house for 2 months in a gated community at a beach, when my son first came over in 2016, and the drama going on in there was just absolutely outrageous. They had like a condominium committee board, police to catch your, if you didn't clean up your dog poop. It was ridiculous. It was like a gulag.
All the things that you left the States for.
Yeah.
Is it because it's in Spanish? Does it give it that extra little pep and if you watch it in English, would it be the same?
No.
Well, in the gated community, it's all in English and it's all Americans. And if you don't know, Monty, there's a big difference between a Canadian and American. So when you're living in a gated community full of Americans, it's quite an experience.
Yeah. I think they call that New York. But I'm just, imagine the soap operas, it's all in Spanish and like that's just the cherry on the top of the cake of the drama and the acting. It's because in English it would be like this, like EastEnders has been going for, decades in England and they all speak like this, don't they? Like I'm having a dramatic moment and I'm sounding like I'm Michael Caine.
So
you actually sound more like David Icke there.
The Costa Rican sitcoms
praise indeed.
The Costa Rican sitcoms are kind of like Three's Company with a 1970s Doctor Who set budget.
Oh, nice. We've got £10. Quick, build an apartment.
But they do just fine. People like them.
Yeah, well, South Park is a good example of like you don't need $300 million CGI. You can have construction paper. It's the story.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about the story, Monty.
Yeah.
Really?
You know that.
A writer all about the story? Go figure.
I'm all about the story.
Well, I still think you should ask the NGO about funding a soap opera movie studio. You have the technical background to do it.
I could easily do it. Yeah, I studied
you even have
school as well.
You even have a producer from Colombia named Robert that can come around.
I've got a title for you.
Yeah.
I've got a title. Not Without My Llama.
I would call it perros y culebras. So all the women in Costa Rica refer to the men as perros, dogs, and all of the men refer to the women as culebras, snakes. So perros y culebras. and
coming up next here on HBO, Dogs and Snakes, the love story of Southern America.
Where the terrier falls in love with a cobra. What happens next?
Then a mongoose turns up into the scene and things get hairy.
Exactly. An Indian mongoose.
I can verify there are no mongoose here, Monty, only because I'm looking for them when I want them.
Just rewrite that Monty Python sketch. A tiger in Africa. Shh. It works.
Anyways, mongoose are evil beings. They are not pleasant. They are like cracked out angry squirrels.
Yeah.
Squinges.
Yeah. God put a lot of viciousness into that whole weasel genus. I'll tell you right now. I mean, the honey badger, the wolverine, the fisher in Canada. It's just this is a very vicious animal species there. The whole genus of the weasel. There's not one of them that's not formidable, no matter how small they are.
Yeah, it's like Australia. The 90% of the animals in Australia want to kill you. 30% can. The other percentage want to, but they can't.
Every once in a while, somebody will put up a photo collage of like wonderful Australia or something, and it's just the most bizarre stuff I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Like you guys have a huge spider problem there, right?
Well, no, there's a truce. The trick is you leave it. That's the thing about you live in nature. To live in harmony with the animals is leave them alone. You don't go up to a bear and go poke, poke, poke. Oh, he seems to be upset. He's sleeping and you poke him in the eye. But most animals you just leave them alone and go about your day. Most snakes run away from you because they're scared. It's usually if you get too close and then they react. People say we have a shark problem. It's like, no, you put on a black wetsuit, look like a seal, and went into the shark's lounge room. Yeah. And we have to kill the sharks. No, when the shark enters my lounge room, then we have a problem. So.
Yes. And sharks like, Grubhub's here.
Yeah. So yellow fluorescent wetsuits. That's the best thing when you go surfing. Because the shark are going, what is that, a glow stick? Oh, I'm staying away from that.
What happens in Australian daytime TV? What's going on there?
I have to remember my stoner days. Well, we show American soap operas. So we don't actually, our soap operas are around about dinner time, tea time. You have Neighbours, Home and Away. Neighbours is still going because it gives people in Australia in the industry work, but it's very successful in England. So it's made for the English audiences. And it's just, quick writing tip. If you want to write for a soap opera, something bad happens at the start of the episode, and then you make mistakes for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's basically the writing formula.
Yeah, it's just normal life stuff. I think Coronation Street out of Britain is the longest running daytime TV show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah.
They might have started the whole thing actually. Downton Abbey is really a soap opera.
Actually, no, the longest running episode. Actually, the longest running episodic in TV history is Monday Night Raw, wrestling.
Yeah. I did say longest running soap opera though.
Okay, so I didn't hear that part. I thought episode. Yeah. I know for a fact that the longest running episodic is WWE wrestling Monday Night Raw.
That started very early 80s, didn't it? It's like yeah. Because there was, before Coronation Street, I think there was a show called Compact. They've had soap operas on the BBC since the 50s, but they don't seem to drop off. Here in Australia in the 70s, we had Number 96. But Home and Away started, I think, about 88. Neighbours is 87. Coronation Street's around that. The Bill had a nice chunk, about 2.5 decades. Doctor Who's been going since 63, but it had 16 years rest time. Even Star Trek, but even with Star Trek, it only lasted 3 seasons, but the franchise has been going since 66.
Yeah, good call. I forgot all about that. The original was only 3 seasons. That's kind of amazing when you think about it. And then they didn't touch it until Next Generation, right?
That's right.
Yeah, 87. But other films were very popular. Star Trek: The Motion Picture was the mid 70s from memory.
Yeah, 79.
Yeah. And I think Star Wars kicked that off. It's fascinating where Rocky was 1 year before Star Wars. And if you remember the 70s, if you look at all the films, it's like Charles Bronson and the Disaster Movie. And then you had these 2 big movies come out, and they were vastly popular because it was a hopeful journey of, the hero's journey. Rocky was made on a shoestring budget, and it was huge, and that I think that started the whole sequel thing. Star Wars just turned into a trilogy, but before then there wasn't. You had Planet of the Apes, but sci-fi movies back then made 5 million, which was a success, but very low profit margin compared to everything else. And then Star Wars came out because it was completely different. When the crew was making it in England, they thought, what is this crappy little sci-fi fantasy fairy tale? And then it just exploded.
Yeah, I think there's an untapped market in sci-fi. I think that if you humanized it more and gave it more drama and made the sci-fi or the context of the show only one facet of it rather than, the horses leading the cart.
Said the man who despises sci-fi.
Yeah, I'm not a huge sci-fi guy. Andrew and I had this conversation off air. Yeah. But as a writer, I can tell you there's a lot missing there that could make it a lot better, right?
And because you avoid sci-fi like a plague, you've never experienced Battlestar Galactica, the remake, or Babylon 5. Let me tell you something. J. Michael Kostritsky will make your writer's butt pucker in 122 episodes.
I did see the reboot of Battlestar Galactica with Edward James Olmos, and I thought it was brilliant. I got hooked on that. But again, that was an example. Again, remember what we talked about, Andrew? The only sci-fi book I've ever read and read more than once is Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? So I really cued into the whole consciousness AI thing, and they did that brilliantly in Battlestar Galactica reboot.
Yeah, but there are many other sci-fi novels out there that are mind-blowingly awesome. And I know you you blanket judge them as Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
If you
yeah,
watch
I do.
if you watch the Blade Runner sequel, you probably enjoy it more on mute because it looks gorgeous. It's
Yes,
boring
yes.
as batshit. Like, what the fuck's happening? Oh, look, Han Solo's in it. That's the problem with the technology and the budget. They make everything look gorgeous, and then the main character's like, "I'm going to do something stupid now." Like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. So I have a request from the chat room. Andrew needs to name some of the top 5 puckering triggers so I understand this concept. Here's the first visceral.
Twist.
Have you ever been into a point where you're almost going to run into the back of a car and all of a sudden the spring inside your seat sucks into your asshole? That is a butt pucker moment.
Now,
Okay?
I have to ask,
visceral.
Has that happened to you, Andrew? I'm just wondering.
A few times. Where oh no, we're gonna hit, and the spring pops through. That's a butt pucker moment.
You know when you're leaning on the back of a chair and you're about to fall and you catch yourself?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a butt pucker moment too. That's just just the one where it's more like sucking of air up and not an actual spring.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat asked if I liked 2001 and said, "Oh, I mean, come on, you got to like this." Absolutely love 2001. I've seen it about 21s. That's not sci-fi. That's Stanley Kubrick.
Yes, that's Stanley Kubrick. Exactly. Brittany, you're welcome. Now that you get it, I'm sure you've had many butt pucker moments in your life.
Yeah, like it's like and someone enters the room and everyone's like, and the atmosphere pressure increases because everyone's just inhaled all the oxygen.
And it's not a moment where your boyfriend goes, "Hey, there's another hole." That's different.
Yeah. Yeah, playing the back nine. Yes,
exactly. It's really with that moment where it's, oh shit.
We need to talk.
Yes. I gotta ask, has anyone had a moment where metaphorically it felt like you were gonna suck a spring through the seat? I have. Driving a limo with 23 people and a homeless man jumps out in front of me. Oh no.
The joy of inertia. Like the car stopped, but everyone else kept going. That's why, they've got in the car the parcel shelf. I don't know why it's called that. Do not put a parcel on there, because when the car stops, everything else that's loose continues on until it hits something. So if you have anything in the parcel, it could take your head clean off.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Santo, he's like, when there's a smell in the elevator and everyone looks at you. Yeah, that's a pucker moment. That's more like that's more of a sucker moment.
Yeah. So one of the best memes, it's from episode 1, Star Wars Phantom Menace. It's young Obi-Wan Kenobi talking to Qui-Gon Jinn. And it says, farting in an elevator is so wrong on many levels.
If you ever really, 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 really need workman's comp and you're working in an office, just switch to a diet, 3 meals a day of cabbage and beans. You'll get your workman's comp in 3 weeks.
There was a comedy troupe here in Australia called the D Generation, and they started out doing sketch comedy on the ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, and they created something called the fart whistle. So there was no argument of who farted. And so every time someone farted, you had little jingles and everything else like that. So the fart whistle is about that long, white, and so it made a tune when you let go.
Yeah, I have to say the pit bull is the most gassiest dog I know of.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, he's right beside me now, giving another sense other than auditory and visual to this broadcast.
And they enjoy it. They intimately enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm going to be scared when they actually have that's the final frontier with television and video is smell-o-vision. Because like with Private Ryan, veterans actually saw it, and what did you think of it? The only thing that was missing was the smell, and I'm kind of glad of that. Where just the mass slaughter and Steven Spielberg knows how to start a film, doesn't he? Like 20 minutes of just carnage, and then the story starts.
Yeah. So I went to India for a month in 2012 with my son. We went on a little trip. I took him a week out of school, and then we went over the Christmas break. And when I came back, some people at work were asking me, what's it like? Is it really like that movie Slumdog Millionaire? And I said, yeah, exactly like that. But you really can't understand it absent the olfactory sense. You just can't get it. You have to be there.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they've let that place go, right? And now, as the, when you look at COVID and New Delhi and stuff, I mean, it's just, how they say that, any ancillary condition will exacerbate the virus. New Delhi, the entire city is an ancillary condition for everybody living in there, all 24 million people.
It's all one giant petri dish.
Yeah. Really amazing. There's irony. The people who invented Ayurveda living in such an unhealthy way. There's irony right there, right?
That's right.
Mind-boggling.
Now, since the conversation of gas has normally aroused out of its normal way, I'm going to share a story I know I've shared once before, but there are some new people here. So many, 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 many years ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I was just learned how to drive. I was like 16 going on 17, and my middle brother Mike went over to my grandmother's house because she had gone to Greece for 2 months. So he was watching the dogs over there, and he was the one being responsible for that. And he had a friend over, and I knew this friend very well. And so I was going to go over and just hang out with him and play some games and stuff. And I remember opening the sliding door, and both the dogs run out of the house with this weird look on their face. And then I am accosted by this most awful smell I have ever had. Like somebody sprayed fucking tear gas in there. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? And the dog's like, me, like whimpering to get out. Okay. And there they are in the kitchen laughing their ass off, farting every 2, 3, 4 seconds. I'm like, what the hell's happened? And like, we made chili and it's making us fart. Long story short, my grandmother only buys dried beans. So they made chili with dried beans, which is full of nitrogen, which creates nonstop gaseous effect. They never soaked the beans. Mm-hmm. This stuck in my head. Come 10 years later, I am with a group of friends who are, let's say, very metrosexual, always love to primp and get themselves ready, a bunch of really hot girls. And every other Friday, somebody was going to make dinner, and then we'd all go out, and it was my time to make dinner. And I decided to make a chili as a joke. But I used steak instead of ground beef, and I fried it. I made it perfect, and I used dried beans. And then we went out to nightclubs. Intentionally. Oh, yes. Oh, intentionally. This was a prank that I was going to play on them. And I knew that some of these girls were, let's just say, very social. And I had to hold it in, and I'm watching like girls in tight clothes, like a bubble popping up in the spandex. Metaphorically. Oh, it was so, I cannot even, I know I've told this story before, but yeah, I had for years, I couldn't say anything because I know I would have had a hit taken out on me.
Yeah, I like that part of the story is like, years later. Oh, by the way, you remember that night? Well, everyone ended up it got to the point where girls were going to the bathroom all by themselves. And why do girls in a club go to the bathroom by themselves? They don't want anyone to know. You just have David Attenborough in the background. C has the one female pairs away from the
exactly pairs away from the other, or they're out on the dance floor and no one will grind with them. No one coming close to grind. Oh yes.
I love fighting in nightclubs because there's so many people, and if you're hitting a nice stride, because I was we call them glassy bus boys. Basically, you've learned how to maneuver in a crowd, and so you can get from point A to point B in a nanosecond. Because everyone, it's like running through rain. You're that fast. No drops on you. But if you fart during that, you can just hear, it's like a sonic boom with farts where you go through, you let it out, and then there's that enough time has dissipated where they don't know it was you, but there's this wafting obnoxious cloud
Right.
following you along in your wake.
You know, and then there's pictures of that night, which I later found out later, where they're like sweating from trying to dance, but you could just tell that in the picture they're all gassing up a storm. You know, no one wants to dance with them, nothing. I later found out one girl went home with a guy and he went to go eat her out. She farted right on him. When we arrived at Denny's, can't tell you how many people were blaming it on the on the pleather seats that they're that was the seat making the noise. It wasn't me.
And there's all that fear, you know, when you go to fart and it's not.
Yes, but the thing is, these were juicy rumblers. That's the nature of what happens when you have unsoaked beans.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just like the cheeks go.
Yeah.
There's force behind it.
The joy of the digestive system, ladies and everyone. See, here we have comedy, spirituality, and medical information.
So Colleen's saying you're a horrible friend. Well, these girls deserved it. Okay? I'm sorry.
My friends.
They deserved it. And let me tell you something. I did not harm them. I only fed them.
Yeah, they're alive today.
What's my karma in this?
Good karma, because you fed them and they stayed alive because of you.
Exactly.
How am I a bad person? I fed you. You're still alive today because of me.
Anyways, over the years, I ended up, I had to tell someone, and I told my one friend, Dave, and he's like, you did what? I remember that night. I remember. Oh my God. He's like, I had to walk up with my fucking ass cheeks puckered up everywhere I went.
They remembered the night. I'm sure
they remembered the night. And then as the story started to spread amongst the group of friends, I had already gone and I was into the Galactic historian stuff, and I would get these calls. If I see you, you're dead. You're dead.
And you quickly go to the Akashic Records. No, it's not you.
Nope, not you. Exactly.
I'm fine for a couple of years. So.
And then about, I don't know, maybe 9 months ago, the same group of friends, we all got back together, and I got a few slaps on the back of the heads, and we had a big laugh about it. But this is like 19 years later, 18 years later.
Yeah.
But the night was well remembered. And because each individual person had a moment where the gas was so forceful and loud, like it was absolutely identified. What happened there? What did you do? It wasn't me. It was blamed on everyone else.
I just realized there was a bit of karma for you, Andrew. Remember that bear that left a present on your front step?
Oh, yes. Oh,
yeah,
God.
Yeah. There could be a connection.
I will never forget that walking up. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? If I had taken 2 more steps, I'd have stepped in it.
You would have drowned in it. It's like, did a T-Rex walk by and have a crap? What the heck?
Exactly. I can't tell you how much laughs. I'm like, what's the bear like? Oh, man, I got a shit. I'm going to go to the Colonics guy.
I just like find it, lives in nature, is one in harmony with the planet. Nah, that doorstep there, that looks inviting.
So I now invite everyone to ponder who in your grand family would want to have a chili. Yes, there it is. That is the bear shit. That was the size of a giant snow shovel to get off. That thing is like literally like 3 feet round. Okay. And that picture right there, if I had literally taken 2 more steps off my porch, it would have been right. I'd have stepped right in it. Like his paws must have been on my porch steps as he's going, oh boy, it's coming.
Breathe, push, breathe.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so I invite everyone to remember the unsoaked beans, and may your family have an enlightened moment.
Yep. Yeah. Thanksgiving should be interesting for you this year. You'll be putting masks back on.
Yes, gas masks.
Yeah. I wanted to buy, like during lockdown, if I had the money, I would have bought one of those Israeli gas masks. They're about $200 each, and just walk around and mumble stuff and yelling at people for wearing those flimsy little cloth masks.
Mm-hmm. So everyone will have their own experience with the dried beans. Anyways, long story short, once the truth came out, there were some evil looking eyes at me, but it was a comical moment 20 something years later. But did I live in fear? No. I lived in laughter that these hot 10 girls, just were having the moment where the spandex was having some bubbles in it.
And this is from a man that, a decade and a half later would, for spiritual cleansing, basically tell everyone to get colonics. So
yes, get colonics. What the hell's wrong with you? You're backed up. You got 20 pounds of shit in you. That's what's wrong with you.
Yeah. And it's interesting when you have those fasts. Like my body's gone, no, we're going on a fast now. Like, all right. And when you take a dump and it's pure black, it's like, what the hell did I eat?
That's that McDonald's cheeseburger from 16 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how the doctors go through medical school for 4 years, but they spend one morning on nutrition and the digestive system.
It says, Colleen, thank you. Andrew is the colonic crusader. That's right. Instead of a big cross, it's just a little circle.
With his cape and his tube.
Yes.
Now, are you a villain or a superhero?
Well, it all depends on how you perceive the colonic.
Yeah, he's in the gray area.
He's in the gray area, yeah.
Yeah. What's one thing that helped you to reach enlightenment? I crapped a lot.
Yep. Crapped out like 20 pounds of petrified shit.
Yeah, I want to have a t-shirt saying, I read my Twitter on my shitter.
Yes, thank you, Caroline. My shield is a Kalima board, and my weapon is a bucket.
For I am Colonic Man.
I am Colonic Man.
Cleaning colons across the planet.
Let me get a visual on that. I'm looking up Kalima board. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Fits over the toilet. It's got a big hood there that your ass goes right to, and it takes the explosion.
Oh,
the poo guru.
It's a blast shield. Oh dear! Some modern artist is going to go, what the hell is this? Well, what I do is I eat laxatives and I poo out onto this board, and then I put them on a New York gallery and sell them for $3,000 each.
Yes,
my art is.
You know what his name is? He's a Chinese painter called Hu Flung Poo.
And his brother and his manager, who's his brother, he flung poo.
Yes, he flung poo. Exactly. Yes. It is, and the whole family is we flung poo.
Yeah. From a
I'm
lower
the poo,
province.
Thank you. I'm the Poo-roo.
I just talk shit all the time.
Exactly. I just show me your shit, and I can tell you what's wrong with you.
See that?
Yeah,
that went on a journey.
The Emperor of China had a medical personnel just assigned to inspecting his species. That's a true story.
Yes,
yeah, it's in the movie. It's the one thing I remember from the last Emperor. Well, I want to watch it again because it's a great movie. But the one I remember is there's a guy that an 8-year-old emperor takes a crap, and then the guy sniffs it just to make sure.
One does not simply unfling poo. That's correct. Once it is flung, it's on. Someone is going to react.
You want to play a very quick game of name one TV show or film Sean Bean didn't die in?
Yeah. Yeah, he got the I'm going to get killed typecasting for sure. Yeah.
No, there's some love stories he didn't die in where he got the girl in the end.
Okay. I was going to say he probably died on side. Jupiter Rising or Ascending, he doesn't die in that one, but everything else he seems to die in. GoldenEye, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, because I never read the books, and he gets killed at the end. It's like, he's the reason I'm watching this thing. So,
Right.
That's
Yeah.
Games of Thrones, where anyone can die. Well, apparently the story did in the last season.
That's because they rushed it. They rushed
Well,
that.
and
they
the
wanted
book
they
hasn't
wanted
been written.
well, no, they wanted to end the series because they wanted to go and make more money off of the prequels and the other series, because they were getting up to like freaking $100 billion a season.
Well, yeah,
Wow.
because I think season 6 was going to be the last season, but then we'll do 2 seasons. There was a break between 6 and 7. Then they released 7,
Right. And then
everyone's like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
They couldn't plan a 9 because all the actors have become popular. Like what's her face, the one girl that ended up in X-Men, et cetera, et cetera. They could never rearrange the actor schedules.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that turned 10. That TV show was 10 years. The anniversary was about a month ago, and no one cared. That's how bad the last season is. Where it's like, oh,
Yeah. They almost undid the whole series with that last season. I just could not believe how badly they missed the mark there. I don't know what was going on. The writers
blame the communal co-writers who took away from what the actual writers were doing, and the bean counters who were trying to make the cost of the sets go down. Yeah.
And they went further than the book, right? Like the writer couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah, he hasn't he's still, it's been 10 years, he still hasn't finished the last book.
Yeah. Well, he made his money. He's okay. Some people just can't write to that kind of performance schedule, right? Like heavy duty, big multi-million-dollar production. It's got to be nerve-wracking.
Well, apparently, Amazon is making, it's a prequel to the Lord of the Rings, which they're calling the Lord of the Rings. No confusion there, but it's leaning into the woke, where it's going to represent our world today. It's like, fucking no. Like,
what?
I mean, in England, they cast, and I haven't seen it and I refuse to, but they was one of the wives of Henry VIII, Anne of whatever. Anyway, she a black woman was cast for that, so they race swapped. Yeah, they race swapped someone in history. So I don't know what the acting's like, but it's like, hang on, why is there what? It's the BBC.
Wow, okay, that's just dumb.
Yeah,
that's just dumb.
I'm still waiting for I've got my pitch for White Panther, Wakanda's just above Norway.
Oh my God. There is no White Panther.
Well, there's no panthers in Africa either.
Yeah, exactly. That is actually a Central and South American animal. You're absolutely right.
Right.
Ah, dear me. But the guy who played Black Panther, he hid his cancer and he passed away last year. He was a good actor. Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman. That was a bit sad, actually. Too young to go with all that success.
Yes. And Anthony Hopkins won the Oscar, and everyone on the left freaked out because, like, no, he's dead. And but I heard someone say they should just make an award for Anthony Hopkins. Every time he releases a film, he gets the Anthony Hopkins Award because he keeps winning the Academy Award.
Yeah. Okay, man. Did you guys watch any of the Oscar-winning movies this year?
Nope.
No.
I don't even know which ones they are. I don't even know what they are. I don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, I was a little curious. So I watched the one that won Best Picture. It was directed by a Chinese director, and not Chinese American. She lives in China. And it was starring Frances McDormand from Fargo, Marge Gunderson. And it's just basically was like a PBS budget documentary on living out of your van. They actually used like people who really lived out of their vehicles for extras in the group scenes where they would all meet. And I mean, it was just, I could not believe this got Best Picture. I mean,
lost sound.
Class could have done a better job. Yeah. Did I go out?
Yeah,
yes,
you're back. You're back. I mean, heck,
Okay.
a Talamanca Mountain soap opera could have done better than that.
Yes.
And the Golden Globes is
really bad.
The
The
Golden
dogs and the
Globes.
snakes could win the Golden Globe, and the dogs and snakes could win the Oscar.
So
The Golden Globes are in trouble as well. Tom Cruise has handed back some of the awards, and it's full of sexism and racism. And it's the foreign press, so maybe the left just don't agree with their opinions. I don't know what's going on there, but all those award shows are just dying in the ass. Same with major sports as well. All the ratings now during lockdown, you think people would watch more television, but their ratings are dropped because of all the political pandering and virtue signaling. Because sport used to be about sport.
Also, you know, when you close down the pubs, you just can't go out to watch the sports, and you have a nagging wife at home who doesn't want you to put on sports. She wants to watch, fucking Oscar-winning fucking van homeless people.
Yeah, put on that dog and snack show. That's so much better than this sports ball that you watch.
So I have a question. Who exactly is the Hollywood foreign press? Like, I don't what countries are we talking here? Like Morocco, Spain, Portugal, France? Like, what are we talking?
England,
here?
Australia, everyone that's not. It's everyone who's not from the United States.
Major cricket groups.
Yeah, think cricket.
So
think cricket.
Canada.
Wherever there's major cricket teams, that's out of Hollywood
Foreign press.
Yeah, foreign press.
Yeah, the hints in the title, they're foreign.
Good one, Monty. Good one.
The English language does have its perks. There's a group of military people called the Desert Rats. Guess what they do? Then you have the American, where Marines, which they keep sending them where there's no water.
Yeah, so Albert Ortega saying Amores Perros is a good Mexican film. Yeah, I saw that in Canada. It's absolutely brilliant. I forget what the director's name is. He did Babylon with Brad Pitt as well, but it didn't turn out that well. But his breakout film is absolutely brilliant, I believe. Albert, am I right there? Are we talking about the same guy? I think we are. Yeah. But film has always been a funny thing. It's been curious to me, right? So like growing up, I looked at what was coming out of Canada. We're about double the population of Australia. And Australia, you guys always just could blow us away. You did really good films. Gallipoli, Breaker Morant,
Mad Max.
Once We're Warriors. Yeah, Mad Max, yeah.
Once Warriors is New Zealand, but that's very Australian. Anything popular from New Zealand, we say it's Australian. Oh, Russell Crowe, he's good, so he's from Australia. Oh, Russell Crowe threw a phone at an employee at a hotel. Oh, that New Zealander.
Is he New Zealand? Is he an Auckland boy?
I'm not sure where he is in New Zealand, but his cousin played for the New Zealand cricket team.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, pointless information won't save your life, but you never know.
Yeah.
Thandie Newton, I think she's half Australian, half English. And one of her breakout films was Mission Impossible 2, which was made here in Sydney. And it's the only moment I've seen Tom Cruise actually act. The character is wearing, how they do the masks. And so the villain is wearing Tom Cruise's face. So it's actually Tom Cruise playing the part. And he talks to Thandie Newton, and she is completely unaware, thinks it's Tom. She walks off, and then there's this sullen, sort of resting bitch face. A moment of the villain going, "Nah, you're fucked," and it's like, "Wow, Mr. Cruise, I found you actually act." It's just this 3 frames of the film, but yeah.
And irony, Santos says he is just driving by Russell Crowe's property in New South Wales.
Is he still owning that? Because he sold off a lot of stuff as well. So
he says yes.
Yeah, interesting. Because, he was married to a lovely lady. They've got kids. And if you've seen Russell recently, he's expanded. He's aging well. If you haven't seen one of Russell's breakout films,
I don't think you would.
Go ahead.
He wouldn't turn down the chili, Monty, even if you told him it was made with dry beans.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
he put that weight on for a roll. He actually put 40 pounds on for a roll.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a large boy.
Well, he's just playing Russell Crowe now.
Yeah. Well, and he has a band too.
Yeah, and he's a method actor too. So
yeah.
Well,
there's a reason that he's successful.
It's not like Robert De Niro was still fat Jake LaMotta. I mean, you're supposed to take the weight off after the role, right?
Have you seen The Irishman or How to Paint Houses?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. De Niro had to wear lifts because he's so small against Pacino. And so he's got like if platforms this big. I've seen a photo and it looks really weird.
You mean Pacino wore the lifts?
No, I know De Niro did, so I don't know.
Oh, that was probably just to get into character because the guy who was playing the Irishman was huge.
Yeah, supposed to be huge. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much a requirement to be a mob enforcer.
Wear platforms.
Well, no, to be huge.
Yeah, well, that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
A long film, but it's worth seeing once.
Yeah, there's no hidden dragon, crouching tiger. Just the huge guy shows up.
Hey,
you got that money?
Don Rickles, the stand-up comic. He, I think he was on a talk show, but he has the best Frank Sinatra joke I've ever heard about Frank, which is, do you know Frank Sinatra saved my life once? Yeah, he said, yeah, that's enough.
Oh, I get it.
For context, for people, Mr. Sinatra was connected to some legitimate businessmen, and if Frank didn't like you, he would let you know and probably beat people because he was part of the Vegas crew and everything else like that. So I just like that. It's just a brilliant joke. Yeah, that's he saved my life by stopping his goons beating me to a bloody pulp.
Yeah. And you've got big movie stars there in Australia too. We don't have any movie stars in Canada.
Well, no, they moved to the United States. They're so close. Look how many Canadians?
Yeah, we do. Actually,
they move to the United States and then they get green cards and they let go of their Canadian hit ship.
Yeah, Ryan Stiles.
Ryan Gosling.
Yep.
Jim Carrey. Is Rick Moranis? Mike Myers. Yep. There's so many Canadians, but they just travel below the border and become American. It's very Australian, New Zealand. It's like, oh, you're Canadian. No, he's American now. He's successful.
He's got his green card.
Yeah.
I like to harass.
Oh,
Jim
yes,
Carrey
John
on
Candy.
Twitter. Love to harass Jim Carrey on Twitter, because he's really involved in the American political process, and I just keep repeating the same comment over and over. Jim, you're Canadian.
Well, I find Jim Carrey's a fascinating experience because he apparently has done the whole spiritual thing and turned into a ball of light and he's open and everything else like that. And then he loses his complete shit with Trump, all this other weird shit. And like, when you take that trip to the creator and you're all that is, was, and will be, I think he fell down some stairs on the way back. It's like, wow.
Yeah. Jim was funny till he started thinking too much.
Yeah.
He was funny until he stopped doing cocaine.
Well, there could be that because cocaine is a hell of a drug. So
he stopped doing cocaine. He got a little serious once he cleared himself up.
Yeah. It's fascinating in the world of comedy where there's comedians that are successful and they're playing to big houses, and I just look at them and go, why is what? I don't know if it's an element of jealousy. It's like, why do we exist? Like Amy Schumer, like, I know she's doing comedy, but I don't see any laughter involved. Ghostbusters 2016, apparently the four main leads are comedians, but I didn't laugh. I want my 2 hours back from watching that movie. Is that the joke? That it's a one joke film that they made it?
I don't know. I actually laughed
Monty,
at that. I laughed at that movie. I did laugh.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and she just had something come out on Netflix that I thought was pretty funny. Actually, I forget the name of it, but it's her most recent movie, and I thought it was really funny. She's hit and miss, that Amy Schumer. I think a lot of people just love to hate her. I don't know why, but she's not super funny. And I agree with Ghostbusters. They absolutely killed that movie by just simply remaking it to have 4 female leads in it. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? They're coming out with a sequel.
Yep.
And Jason Reitman, his son, is making it. So that actually might be pretty good.
Yeah, I think the story is that Egon's grandchildren are part of it. So
yes, I've seen the trailer for it.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Because I think Dan Aykroyd wrote the script, or he's part of it as well. So they're going to do it right.
Yeah, there's another Canadian in Hollywood, right?
Yes, yeah. And he's into the whole alien side of things. And it's fascinating as well, like is exopolitics the right word? There seems to be 2 camps, where there's the spiritual side of things, and then there's everyone else just going by scientific evidence, where Area 51 and everything else like that. Well, this guy Andrew can talk to the aliens.
So when Dan Aykroyd was from Ottawa, my hometown, and when I was in grade 8, I had a math teacher who was in his last 3 or 4 years of working, in his late 50s, and he had actually taught Dan Aykroyd and used to tell us Dan Aykroyd stories. Dan Aykroyd once went on a high school field trip to Parliament Hill, put a briefcase in the center of the lobby, went and hid behind a pillar and screamed "bomb." Apparently they were interrogating him for 4 hours. True story. Actually did that.
Yeah, comic timing.
He's an authentic comedian. Authentic.
Oh, the irony of comedy. The irony of comedy. One man's joke is another man's bomb threat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Here in Australia, there's a whole thing of tall poppy syndrome. If you're familiar, taking down people because you're not them. And it's, I would get grief for, you're a dickhead. And it's like, I'm doing the same stuff as, they think Seinfeld's a god, and I'm doing something similar and they hate me. I don't know if it comes out of jealousy or something like that. But there's also that problem with Australia. It's like, oh, you're from overseas. Clearly you're better than us.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, same thing in Canada. There's a real crab bucket mentality. We don't like people to get too big in Canada, right? The only person who's really gotten away, a couple literary figures have gotten away with it, like Michael Ondaatje, who wrote the English Patient, and of course Margaret Atwood with Handmaid's Tale and everything. But that's the only people who will allow public adoration of our writers. But we don't have any movie stars in Canada, none. And it's not tolerated. Damn it!
Because they don't pay them well. That's why they all go to Hollywood.
Yeah, so, like, you can't even go to the U.S., become famous, and come back to Canada for summers in cottage country or something, and be expected to be treated any differently. Hey, Dad, I was next in line with my kids at the ice cream truck. Get the hell out of there!
Get the hell, exactly.
Well, that's the thing. It's
Hollywood.
Yeah. It's gone. I've had a Biden moment.
You had a Biden moment.
Yeah. I'll bet
you're biding your time for your memory to come back.
Hey, Monty, I'll bet you Dan Aykroyd has read Stardust Ranch.
I'm sure he has, or he'll be aware of it, because that's you know what I mean. But I'm not saying it's a vast gulf of separation, but Stardust Ranch, because you've got the trilogy of ranches on the same. Is it not parallel? It's the other one.
There's a lot of Hollywood stars that go out there to spend weekends with John. I'm not allowed to say any names, but you would be amazed. Iron Man.
Irony Man. There we go. There's our superhero that we've created for this show. Irony Man.
Irony Man.
Line is no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Thank you for saying. Hey, sorry, buddy, not me. It can't clench on crack. Hey, no. Oh, but yeah, there's a positive side to the tall poppy syndrome. It's very small, but the idea is to not allow someone to become a diva and have their ego inflated and they walk around like, you know, the emperor's new clothes and all that type of stuff. A Rock by Man starring Monty Dean as Irony Man. Oh, yes. Afghanistan. Come for the Taliban. Stay for the opium.
Heroin.
Yeah, I like that. You say, yeah, but the US military is involved in the heroin trade. How do you know that? Geraldo went to Afghanistan, was interviewing the captain of the squad guarding the poppy fields. Like, you don't need to jump to a conclusion here. It's placed in front of you.
Right, and that was Fox News that did that.
Yeah. And what's the reasoning for it? Oh, see, someone else could make money from it. Burn the fucking thing down. Oh, but it's bad for the economy. Uh-huh.
Thanks, Jimmy. Please make Irony Man save the movie industry from mediocrity. There you go.
All right, let's speaking about comedy. Can anybody tolerate watching any of the late night talk shows anymore?
No.
Like any of them?
Haven't. No.
They completely killed TV from 11:30 onwards. The late night talk show used to be a mainstay in my life when I was growing up in the 80s. You know,
yep.
I watched David Letterman at least twice a week. And, you know, I'm old enough to remember Johnny Carson. I used to watch it with my mom and dad. And I am telling you, man, this is a sign of the times, what they're doing to comedy. I mean, those are unwatchable. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel and literally unwatchable.
Yeah, the one problem, not major, but a large chunk of the problem is, for 5 years, they've had Orange Man bad. I've seen people react on social media where they hate Trump and they want him out of office and they're true left, like, you know, sane. But they can't watch this shit because they're tired of seeing the same joke for 5 years, 5 times a week. You know, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. And it's as Joe Rogan points out, there isn't a small group of people trying to control Hollywood. It's the culture that came in, and so everyone is like, oh, what's selling? Oh, well, you know, this person went woke. Oh, we should do that. What's the diversity? What type of who can we hire? Well, what about the story? Oh, fuck that. We need a black guy and a Chinese amputee gay person, and yeah, but the story. No, I'll be fine. Oh, it bombed. Everyone's racist and a phobe.
Yeah. That's just business. They're just protecting their business interests, right? You have to be that way in Hollywood for the most part. They're all really shallow.
Yeah, but they're not protecting their business because they're not making any money because it's not, you know, it's escapism. And I'm amazed that like even the BBC with the way they're doing it, where during Roman times there were more black people there than we're told, and history's whitewashed. Technically, it's written from a white man's perspective because that's the latest. You know, and it's not just white men, and it's just not the British. It's the elite who happen to be from the British Isles, and it all filters down. So, you know, and I'll stop there because I realized I could rant for 13 hours like David Icke, because the British family is connected to the 3 families, and they all can be led back to Egypt and so on and so forth. And yeah, like
Albert Ortega says Jimmy Kimmel was a cunt to Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell was all class all the way with Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, it's just become so politicized. I feel like I'm living in like St. Petersburg in 1984 or something. It's just bloody ridiculous.
There is also the hypocrisy of Jimmy Kimmel's part of that crowd of like, oh, you did blackface? Clearly you're a racist and you should be cancelled and lose all your job, contracts, house, and family. And yet he did a sketch 20 years ago of him in blackface. And I don't think it was mean-spirited. It was like, you know, I can understand where the whole thing of black and white minstrels, that is offensive to black people. But there's a line where allow the actor to act. Like have you seen, is it Cloud Atlas from the Wachowski thing? Yeah. I mean,
actually the writer there is actually more important. Very well known in literary circles. name is is it Ian Mitchell? I forget what the first name is.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I actually read Cloud Atlas before the book came out, the movie. It's a really well done book, but yeah, they did a good job on the movie too.
Yeah. Who played Agent Smith in The Matrix? Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
And because in the story, it's all about timeline and reincarnation, where we have past lives, multiple lives. And Hugo Weaving plays an Asian person because his soul was born in Asia. And it's very hard to actually attack that for racism, because it's like, well, you can't get an Asian actor. Can you find any Asian that looks like Hugo Weaving and can act like Hugo Weaving? So there has to be makeup. In this, up until the 70s, maybe I think during the 80s, you would have famous British actors that would play different nationalities because they can act. But then, you know what I mean? It's that back and forth of like, but Indian people can't. Like Scarlett Johansson.
I gotta say though, Monty. I gotta say though, with all the Asian acting talent out there, Tilda Swinton should not have been cast as the Ancient One in Doctor Strange.
Well, that was because of the Chinese, because you can't have a Tibetan in a Marvel movie.
That's right. You can't. And they needed star power. They needed star power. Yeah.
They screwed themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, they screwed themselves.
Yeah. Even like Disney's in trouble for like the Star Wars films. They take Finn, John Boyega, who happens to have dark skin. They take him off the poster because they believe the Chinese populace are racist, and they don't like black people or some stupid thing like that. And so you can see both. It's like Black Lives Matter, except for when we're selling a movie in China.
Yes.
Yeah, that is actually quite prolific in Asia. Michael Jackson actually took a giant monkey on stage for his Japanese tour because he had heard that the Japanese had that similar feeling. So just to mock them, and having lived in Taiwan for 2 years, they're pretty racially intolerant. Let's put it that way. I didn't say racist, but they've been raised in a homogeneous culture for 8,000 years. What do you expect? It's not like they went through the grade school system in Ontario, Canada in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, well, you said, you actually said the true name of the Prime Minister of Canada, I think yesterday, the day before.
Justin Castro?
Thank you, because the brain just goes Trudeau, Castro. And like, how can you say that? Just look at photos, for the love of God. Look, get the same. It's not that hard. You don't need a DNA test. It's like
so Cash Trudeau.
Cash Trudeau, man. I wear cocks on my socks, and I'm plunging Canada into an ever-living hell.
Man, that would be brilliant. Actually, just find out what restaurants he goes to in Ottawa. Get a hair follicle or something. Call Fidel Castro's most alienated son since he died and say, "Can I have a hair follicle?" And actually do the test and prove it. I don't think you'd live to get the results to the public.
No. I'm fascinated, like in Stardust Ranch, like because I watched your interview with John on Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean, and because it's not in the book, you relate it, but it's not said in this way. And John said, "Yeah, I think I'm the first person who FedExed an alien to somebody."
Yeah.
So it's like, they're tracking everything. It's like, yeah, but somehow this man got a grey through the postal service system to the universities. Funny.
Once again, the world's run by idiots.
Yeah. And I could be wrong, but ruled by psychopaths, run by idiots, and a psychopath is just a high functioning idiot.
Yeah,
just a high functioning idiot. Yep.
Yeah,
the great irony. So, guys, should we take some calls?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, if you are listening on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and want to be able to call in and talk to us, you must be in the Zoom room. Robert's going to put up some information of how you can come into the Zoomy room. All that information is there. So we want you to go ahead and raise your hand, mofos.
Can I just respond to Santo talking about Bill Gates' divorce? The one good thing about Bill Gates' divorce is Chris Klein can start acting again.
Not
Because
okay.
you know how much. Yeah, because Melinda looks like Chris Klein. Is it Chris Klein? It's
I don't
Klein
know.
anyway.
Kevin
yeah,
Kline?
Kevin Klein. Thank you. Yeah, C-K-C. Yeah, Kevin Klein. Nothing against Kevin Klein. I like him as an actor. He's brilliant in A Fish Called Wanda.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Dave as
chill.
well, where Dave, where he plays the president and the man taking over the presidency. Have you seen Dave with Sigourney Weaver? Yeah.
We want you to hold on real quick. We want you to click that participants button. Click raise your hand if you want to call in and talk to us and say something funny. And all you people in the chat room here are lazy ass motherfuckers, chicken shits who aren't raising your hand.
Andrew is using the Disney business model by insulting the customer.
Yes.
Buy my shit, you fucks.
It's still no one's raised their hand. Oh boy. I'm going to have to go all medieval on your ass.
Yeah. Also, people are having a go at people in the chat room for not putting their hands up. No one has. Oh, we've got one hand. So that person is a hero or heroine. Everyone else is like, oh, look, you're all chicken. Then put your hand up, you prick.
Exactly. Put your hand up, you prick. Chicken shit. Bark, 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 bark.
I like that. The Disney business plan. We'll insult our customers and then wonder why no one's buying.
All right.
The microphone will be open if you put your hand up.
Exactly. All right, Robert. Our one brave person named Galactic Fire. Can you unmute them?
The Galactic is spelt incorrectly, but I'm not sure if that was intentional or not.
It's Galactic.
Galactic.
Galactic, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, where are you calling from?
I'm in Phoenix.
Here in Phoenix. Welcome to the show. Are you laughing tonight?
Actually, a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, it's a comedy show and it's the purpose, but yeah.
Well, I was really in a hurry to leave my house, and I set my phone down and I was getting everything ready, and all of a sudden I hear Monty's voice, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's weird. So apparently, because I wanted to catch the show today, so apparently I did. Awesome. And I felt really intimidated, so I raised my hand.
Wonderful. May the power of intimidation work.
I'm just kidding. I'm being sarcastic. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I love you guys. You guys are great.
Gracias.
Breath of fresh air. Wonderful. It's lonely here in Phoenix. Believe it or not.
Are you on a speakerphone?
Yes, I am, but I've changed that now.
Yeah, you sound like you're inside a tin can 20 miles away.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
A little bit, yes.
Okay, because now I am not on a speakerphone. I was, though.
Are you now have a window open driving in your car?
No, actually my air is on. I'll turn it down here. You know,
yeah,
Phoenix.
we get air. Yes, we get. There we go.
That better?
Much better. Yes.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Sorry about that.
It's okay. So, what's life like in Phoenix for you?
It's really kind of lonely here, actually. There's not too many people that are easy to talk to, really. Everybody's kind of like difficult to.
You're breaking up there, and all we heard is it's because you were breaking up. The bit we heard is not easy to talk to. I'm like, yeah, we get that.
And then we hear your motor running too.
Right? Yeah, my truck's kind of loud. Sorry. You know, I mean, I was like, there was nobody else there, so I decided to raise my hand.
Well, yeah, I'm doing
awesome.
I'm doing the audiobook for Stardust, and so yeah, Phoenix is mentioned once or twice. So you should drive through Rainbow Valley and see how weird that feels.
Right, absolutely.
That's a nice weekend trip.
Yeah.
Would you like to see a portal that goes through time? Yeah, nothing sus.
I heard those are kind of rough, so I might decline that.
All right, Dollar, we're having a really tough time. We're having a tough time. Maybe if you pull over, we'll be able to hear you, but the car engine's starting to overpower you.
I know, right? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. How about if
Okay.
I try and raise my hand here again in a little bit? 'Cause
That sounds good. That sounds good. You're a brave soul.
Oh, good.
Perfecto.
Okay, I'll try back. Okay.
All right. All right,
Okay.
great. All right,
Okay.
Robert. Let's bring up Santo.
Or in Australian, Santo.
Santo. Come on back, Santo.
Hey, Santo.
Oh,
Hey.
he was asking to unmute.
Santo.
Santo.
Must be that connection he has.
Because
One
he's
more
driving.
time.
He's driving too.
Santo.
Santo.
Sending a request, but it's not getting received.
All right, we'll come back to Santo. Let's bring up Jimmy the Kid.
Jimmy the Kid.
You've got a Disney Pixar film in the
Hey
background.
guys, I'm
Jimmy the
unmuted.
Kid here.
Oh, wait, we've
Hey,
got Santo
Jimmy.
and Jimmy. Hold on one second. Jimmy, hold on. We've got Santo. We'll come to you just a second, Jimmy. Santo, are you there?
Yes, I finally figured out how to unmute this stupid phone.
Wonderful. I understand you're driving also, aren't you?
We're driving. We're just about to go into a little town called Coffs Harbour.
Ooh.
Don't know whether it's got anything to do with the Rona. We'll check how many masks are in Coffs Harbour. But it's a beautiful day in New South Wales. Like I said, we just drove past good old Russell Crowe's property, and there was a huge bushfires through here, as you probably knew, last year sometime. And there's been a huge amount of rain, so everything in true style of the paradox of life, it's floods recently, and it's very green and beautiful.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Which happens in Australia because the environment's used to having fire go through to rejuvenate.
Yeah, it's quite strange, the extremities that have been going on recently. But today just happens to be one of those perfect autumn days. It's fantastic for driving. And speaking of driving, Andrew, I
Yes?
hear you're going to get a van. Are you going to do a big
No,
drive or something?
A camper trailer. So I purchased a 18-foot camper trailer. So I'll tow behind
You
them.
already did?
Yeah, I already did. So I'm waiting for it to come from the factory.
And what's the plan?
Go out 10
The no
days.
plan.
No, go out 10 days, come back for a week, go out 10 days, come back for 2 weeks, go out 10 days, come back for a week, go out 10 days, come back for 2 weeks. Because 10 days, I can go anywhere in the United States twice.
They call that a travel sonnet.
Yes.
Just like the guy from Taken, the
Right.
TV show, not the movie. Still have to do that parody of the TV show. Can you imagine Liam Neeson being in the TV show Taken, talking to a grey alien? I don't know who you are, but I have a special set of skills.
Yeah. So with the book coming out, I'm looking to be changing the bigger side of the business model, and having an opportunity to do some other things other than the 9 years that I've been doing, 25 sessions a week. It gets to be a grind after a while, even though I love doing them, but I want to be able to experience something different. I want to know what my next level is also.
Well, you know what the funny thing is I used to live in the States for a while, and I find it very amusing the way Americans travel in their RVs, and these big RVs and these big campsites, which is quite a contrast to the way Aussies travel. We call them grey nomads, and they just pull these huge houses on wheels. And every now and then you see one of these American, what do they call it? The Winnebagos.
Yeah.
That's it, the Winnebagos. Every now and then you see one of these big Winnebagos, but lately it's unbelievable the amount of people that have just packed up or sold their houses and bought these huge caravans, and they're all over the highway. We're trying to overtake them all the time now.
Yeah.
Most of them are Victorians because of the government here. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. After last year with the Nazi aspect of lockdowns and only travel 5 kilometers, like we're fucking leaving. And so Queensland's been inundated with all these people moving.
Yeah. So when are you coming, Monty?
I have no money.
That's all right. Hey, we just built a studio at our place. So, and it's on a cliff. You could be inspired. You can come up and sit in the studio.
Yeah. Inspired to stay alive so don't go near the edge. Yeah, that works. Yeah. But are you close to Sydney? Because it's one of my conditions. I have to be near near venues that have bands. So I like seeing live bands. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm a bass player. My son is a professional drummer. You'll have music coming out of our ears. I was supposed to gig last weekend, but I had an unfortunate incident with one of my front teeth, so I couldn't do it. So we live virtually on the Gold Coast, and it is full of music.
Oh yeah. Well, the Gold Coast, that's like an hour away from Brisbane, so that's good. Yeah, because Anthrax and Metallica tour. Watching you guys play the covers isn't that fun. Just pointing, it's
no. No, but you can bring your guitar and make a lot of noise. No one will mind.
Good. You're trying to say something, Bruce.
Bruce? Call him Bruce.
Yeah,
Bruce
I was going to say that secluded cabin or that secluded guest house on a cliff might. Am I muted? What's going on here?
No, something's going on with your internet's going from red to yellow really fast. Is someone hacking your internet? Somebody figure out how to hack the passcode?
Okay, I'll be quiet.
You might just turn your video out.
No.
Just turn your video
Impossible.
off. That'll be turned. That should clear it up.
Could be the bandwidth. Try now.
Yeah, that would be a lovely. Yeah, that would be a lovely place to spend some time.
But you definitely need to talk to that NGO about internet in Costa Rica.
Yeah, don't worry about me. Just go on with the show.
Yes, you need to talk to that NGO about internet in Costa Rica.
There's an albatross between
Actually,
Bruce and the
they
satellite.
kind of brought that up, and they brought it up. Yeah.
That's irony.
Anyways, go
They
on
brought it up.
without me. My mission has been served.
Yes.
Bit of a lag.
It's all right. You just got to dehaunt your router for a second.
This is a scene from Irony Man.
Yes.
Mum's your internet. Got your badge.
All right, Santo. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, no worries, guys. Have a great day.
All right, let's bring on Jimmy the Kid.
The
Jimmy the
gunslinger.
Kid.
Jimmy the
Unmute.
Are
Did
you
it work?
there? Yes.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. Are you there?
Great. Where are you calling from?
Los Angeles.
Welcome to the show, Senor Kid. So are we
Thank
making
you.
you laugh today?
Yeah, definitely.
What do we
I
make
like
you?
this-
Calm down. Don't get too excited. Yes,
No, I'm
you
just-
are.
I'm just super cool. That's all.
Oh,
But
all right. Fair enough. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to break the. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, I'm staying in character over here. I like this power trio though. Bruce is a good addition to this squad over here.
When the internet works.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have anything to say, but I could tell you a little stupid story that happened to me.
Oh yeah, tell us.
I was texting a friend and then at the same time trying to text my pot dealer. And I got confused and sent a wildly offensive text to the pot dealer by accident. And the context was my friend was on some sort of diet I'd never heard of called the Whole 30, I believe. So, we're just being stupid together. No one's watching, so I think I can get away with it. And I say, something like, "Oh, what is that? Is it like a whole 30 dudes cocks up your ass or something?" Just being a jerk, you know. And I sent it to my weed dealer by accident. I just got confused, and he didn't
What was
think it
the
was funny at all.
No.
So I have had the weed dealer
like
process too. Go ahead. Did we lose him?
No, it's the internet's slowing down because we're too high frequency or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, they can't handle the funny.
Yeah. Let's hear it though, Andrew.
So I've had the weed dealer mistake also, texting a friend back and forth and just trading insults and stuff, and my weed dealer had just got some amazing skunk weed, and I was all super excited about that, and I'm going back and forth, and I ended up calling him some very nasty names, and I'm like, oh shit, mistext. He's like, yeah, sure, you're not getting any of this skunk.
He was a better sport about it than mine. Mine did not find it funny in any way, shape, or form, but it was a good lesson.
Well, at least you're in LA. The weed dealers are a dime a dozen.
Yeah. Do you guys
a dime bag a dozen?
Do you feel free to roast me for my location if you feel so inclined?
Nah, it's too easy.
No, you've just done that. Where are you, LA? All right.
Yeah. All right, exactly. You're roasted.
That joke writes itself, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hell a. Do you agree with Bill Hicks? He's waiting for that big earthquake, and California falls in the sea, and all that's left is the serenity of Arizona Bay.
I have that comedy CD. I don't appreciate that because I'm a LA native, and like, what if he's right? Then I'm screwed. But don't those go back? Isn't that some like Edgar Casey prediction or something?
Yes, and some crazy Christian prophet.
Yeah,
yeah. But if you actually do research in just the San Andreas fault, it's not really hard to predict. Like if you know what happens on the earth, like, well, you can't really say a Tuesday, but at some point that could happen where the fault goes. I'm going to stretch, and then half of the western coast just slides into the sea.
Yeah, we're an easy target, Bill Hicks. Lay off, Like,
well, it was. Yeah, he died in '93. I think. Yeah, it's fine.
I get that he's not Alex Jones, but if you squint and you like drink some booze, they look a little bit.
There's definitely a family resemblance.
Like he's like a tubby Bill Hicks a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I can prove that Bill Hicks or Alex Jones is Bill Hicks because Alex is not as funny as Bill.
What?
Well, he you're right. He has his moments though. But it's almost by accident, like just how loud he is or something,
And Alex was born in 74 as well. He's part of the class of 74. I just find it fascinating.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that. How that means he's like my age. Like I don't look anything like him.
I know he's lived a hard life. Like if you had me next to Alex, it's like, wow, you had a different path. But Andrew's 74. Is what's her name? Miss Eisenhower. I can't remember her first name at the moment. I think she's 74. Leonardo. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio is November 74. So it's fascinating. That was a big year for awesome people.
So I guess the lesson is if you talk like Cookie Monster for decades, it ages you rapidly or something.
Yeah, just also if you're holding that vibration of fighting the globalists and it's so doom and gloom, and it has effect on you. Like coming from Revolution Radio, I keep having conversations with hosts of like, you need to have a rest. You cannot live in the same frequency constantly and getting addicted to information. You need to realize, you can go outside and play with your dog and actually have, balance and joy.
But that dog is a part of the baby raping lizard population, and I can't trust that dog no more.
Well, the dog has foil on its head, so yeah, I like that. Oh, you're a tinfoil hat wearer. It's like foil increases the frequency. I mean, I'm old enough that my TV had foil on the antenna to get a better connection.
It's just strange that baby raping lizard wizards it's just crazy that that's even a thing that's out there now that like normal people
believe in. That's why I coined the phrase baby raping lizard wizards. Everyone gets it.
Yeah, it's like
I'm sure there's probably one in history that did that, but now everyone's it's like, sure, okay.
Yeah, somebody's done it, but like, geez, that whole thing made it seem like every single person was doing that or something, and I'm sure it confused a lot of people.
There's a lot of pissed off lizards out there who, I'm not a baby raper and I'm not a wizard either.
That's one thing. Like in Stardust, they point out like there's all this homogenous crap. Thank you, Bruce. Hi-oh, in the chat. He's still there. Everyone think aliens are all exactly the same. It's like saying humans are exactly the same, but you have factions and different sects and everything else like that. That's SECT. I know my accent. Sects. There's a T in there. It's like, all grey aliens are demonic. Well, no, not all of them. And Andrew, a quick historian question: what's the percentage of evil lizards out of all the lizards?
Well, there are 12 main lizard races, and only 2 of the races are bad guys. The other 10 are pretty good people, actually. Yeah, they've got lizarding cultures. You know, it's like the Chinese corruption. The lizards got their own little internal racism, but it doesn't make them evil. Do they have, camps with Uyghurs that are harvesting organs? The Chinese do it. Well, maybe some of those other lizards have organ harvesting, but they're not like harvesting loosh on a galactic level.
Yeah, you cannot judge.
Yeah.
It sounds very sexism and racist. Judging one person, it's like even gun control. One person loses it, so everyone loses the guns. Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah. Everything I know about extraterrestrial races, which is quite considerable now, I still consider the biggest cunts in the universe to be the human race.
I second that.
I don't know about that. There are some other cunts out there we don't know about, and there are some higher density cunts that hold Lord of Cuntness and have had that title for a long time.
Are there any cunts in the plant kingdom?
Oh yes, tulips. They're the cuntiest plants out there.
See, the Dutch.
Those fucking guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, because the Venus flytrap is just trying to survive. It's not like a Triffid.
I've always had those as plants. They get a bad rap.
Yeah, they take care of the flies.
Yeah, someone gave a Venus flytrap chocolate and it died. Like, well, yeah, like you don't give.
That's too experimental.
Humans are interesting. That's a nice way of saying things.
Very diplomatic of you.
Yeah, well, it's like Elon Musk. We're going to Mars. I'm just like, no, we're not. Like, do you think the rest of the galaxy is like, oh, the humans are leaving the planet? Fuck, code red. Because, well, we need to figure out how to coexist on this planet and work together. And people's idea is, we'll get better when we go off planet. It's like, no, the disease is just going to spread out like a virus until we actually do some work on ourselves.
Did you guys even bother to watch the Elon Musk comedy?
I've seen like 10 minutes of it. The weekend update where the running gag was it was an okay gag, which what is Dogecoin? And they asked it about 8 times. And I saw the opening where he brings his mum on, and yeah, but the rest of it apparently was just it looked like they were trying to sabotage Elon because it was so bad. I've seen tweets like, "Don't worry, SNL's like this all the time. It's this bad." Because people aren't watching it because it's lower common denominator, but on the far left. And I think the jokes that are written on Monday, they get rehearsed and tweaked, and by the Saturday, all the humor's been sucked out of it.
Damn right. I don't even understand what's going on over there anymore. or maybe I do, and it's just
No one understands what's going on over there anymore.
I've never found much of it funny. I like the stuff that comes out of it, like Wayne's World or the Blues Brothers, but the actual show itself, I'm going, this is a classic thing. But that's just a personal experience. I'm not saying, I just don't find any of except for Norm Macdonald and Chevy Chase doing, and a bit of David Spader doing the Weekend Update, where they're allowed to do anything they want type thing. I was watching Jim Brewer talking to Joe Rogan about his experience on it, and it's all about competition. It's so negative in there, and everyone backstabs and is fighting, and the only places that you have freedom to do anything you want is the opening monologue and the Weekend Update. Everything else has to go through the NBC filter. Or some type of filter.
And that Lorne Michaels makes sure that you're always in competition with each other. I really enjoyed that episode because it reminded me of how bad Saturday Night Live is, but why does it still get laughs? And it's not because of laugh tracks. They're playing to the memes before memes were out there. They knew they could grab a laugh if the president of the United States made a mistake. It didn't matter who it was. Like when Bill Clinton was in office, Saturday Night Live was freaking hilarious with the blue dress jokes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Or when W2 took over, when George W took over, oh my God, they were ruthless to him. But it was way more funny than the Trump jokes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, few people killed as hard as Dana Carvey on that show.
Oh, he murdered it. He murdered it, right?
Another Canadian.
Yep.
I believe.
Is he?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
No, he's a Canadian. Yes, he is Canadian.
Really?
Yep.
Dana?
Yep.
Yeah.
Never heard that
It's got to be
ever.
West Coast then, Vancouver.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe Vancouver.
That's what the United States does. Oh, it's successful. You're not Canadian anymore.
There's another one.
Seth Rogen? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I don't find him funny.
Yep.
I can see why.
Man.
How.
Don't even get me started on that guy. Jesus, what a hack!
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Is it Sausage Fest? What was the animation thing where all the food had sex? And I'm like, is that the joke? Like, when I see unfunny comedies, it's like, is the joke that this was made? I'm not getting it here. So,
I'm sorry. No, Dana Carvey was born in Missoula, Montana.
Oh, I'm thinking of someone else. Yeah.
He's got strong Yankee vibes to me. But
yeah, fair enough. Well, isn't that special? Oh yeah, Ryan Reynolds. I liked him in Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place, and then they dropped it to Two Guys and a Girl. Try and Google that TV show on the internet.
What?
Two Guys and a Girl. Wow. And he's brilliant as he's brilliant as Deadpool.
Political. What do you guys think is the best political impersonation in the history of Saturday Night Live?
Oh wow.
I'll go first. I think it's Norm Macdonald's Bob Dole.
Yep, that's what popped into
Bob
my
Dole,
head.
don't do that. Remember Norm Macdonald was Bob Dole? Oh,
that was great. But the guy that played Bill Clinton was just as good.
Was it that Brewer?
Yeah.
Jim Brewer?
God, what is his name? He's like a true impressionist.
Yeah.
Not Daryl Hammond.
Daryl Hammond, yes. Daryl Hammond. That's on par. That's on par with the Bob Dole one.
And is it Rich Little? Because I don't want to. No, I'm thinking Little.
Yeah,
Richard. Rich Little was fantastic at his impressions as well. To answer Bruce's question, Richard Nixon was probably the best impression of a politician.
But Dana Carvey's like abstract impressions are pretty fantastic, where it's just about finding this one little hook that isn't accurate. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carvey did Bill Clinton, I think. Or did he also do George Bush Sr.?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Dana Carvey did George Bush Sr., correct, yes.
That was his bread and butter for a while on that show.
Yeah, and that was brilliant as well.
And then Kevin Nealon did the News Guys.
Kevin Nealon's underrated, I think.
He's definitely underrated.
He's really funny, but it's kind of subtle. It's not like big, so I think people miss it. But he's a really funny dude.
Yeah.
No, it's not really an impression, but it's Christian Bale playing Darth Cheney. Have you seen Vice?
Yes, that was good.
I was they got very close to what we know. Like it's very mainstream point of view, but yeah, he's a cunt. But yeah, Christian, it's scary. And what's his name? He's in the 40. Steve Carell plays Rumsfeld. That's also scary.
Yeah.
And the guy who played Sam Rockwell plays W Junior.
Yeah,
he's fantastic. It's worth it. It's fascinating to watch, especially where they have the fake credits about 20 minutes into the story. That was a great fake out. I love that. But it's worth seeing once if you haven't seen Vice. There's no Halliburton on Mars, unfortunately, but you know it gets close.
You ever seen a movie from '98 with Sam Rockwell called Safe Men by any chance?
No.
Dude, that's a very funny movie. If you guys are ever out of ideas,
I did enjoy him in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where he plays Zaphod Biddlebrox. That was cool.
Hey Andrew, I asked this in the chat, but do you have any like Akashic insight into Dan Aykroyd's webbed toes at all? Is that
16% of the population of humans have webbed toes?
Is that a genetic throwback from someone fiddling with DNA thousands of years ago?
Well, fiddle, sort of, but more like a time where the webbed toes with barefoot people gave much better traction. It wasn't about swimming. That's a big myth.
Okay.
Webbed toes was really about functioning in moist dirt, and then the webbing would get calluses on it that could become very hard. Again, it gave better traction.
Oh, so it's an advantage.
Yes, it's an advantage. Yes.
It's like being uncircumcised almost, but on your feet.
Yes. Good way to put it. Good way to put it. Very visceral. Yes. Yes.
I'm a visual person. Shit. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Remember to clean between your toes.
Missing out.
I'm giving you 25 visceral points on a comedy show for that line right there. You've earned it.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Respect.
There's a t-shirt.
Damn it. But now I feel like I'm missing out, though. You know, I want web toes. Is there any way to like acquire webbing on your feet through practice?
Super glue and paper mache.
All right.
Reincarnation.
What about like
transhumanism? You could try that.
What about like barefoot walking for like 16 hours a day every day or something? That wouldn't do it.
I like the idea of super glue and flippers.
Yeah, it's very it's practical.
It may end badly.
That's one of those grandmasters of the obvious tips.
Yes, and you know, being grandmaster of the obvious, I've had some very obvious moments where I just like, hey, you know, it's this, and this, and then people are like, just like cricket, and it's an unintentional mic drop moment. Like when I first started doing interviews, I'd be like going on 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes, and I just suddenly stop. I'm like, "Are you there?" I hear cricket. Like even when I was interviewing with Sean Stone, and he's an amazing interview, but I'd say some stuff that'd be like, he'd be like, process, not processing, and then the Windows wheel would show up.
Yeah, I've had moments on Planet Collingwood where I would just express a point, and then there's a pregnant pause that you can drive the Millennium Falcon through.
Right.
Well, maybe that's a good thing. It's like a superpower or something to just hush the room.
It's okay on television, but on radio, it's technically dead air.
It's dead air.
Because someone goes, "Oh, they're not on."
You know, for whatever it's worth, I think you and Bruce have a good like comedy duo dynamic going. Like, I like how he kind of doesn't approve. You know, like that could work well on stage.
I know it could. That's why we have the triumvirate of comedians here.
And the fact that you're such a good sport about it, Monty, makes it extra funny. Like you're not really bothered by it. It's good. You guys should.
I approve your suggestion.
Yeah, that's because there's 16,000 kilometers between us. Now, if we're in the same room,
Well, you never know. That could be funny too.
yeah, long distance relationship there. Don't just yeah.
They've got a little bromance going.
No, it's funny
Yeah.
stuff. Like the deadpan sidekick versus the, I don't know, whatever you call it. There's something there. That's all I'm trying
usually
to say.
in a comedic duo, you usually have a straight man, which allows jokes to bounce off, or like in Abbott and Costello, because Abbott's the tall one. Costello would be the idiot, and the other guy's basically the straight man, and that's how like Who's on First, which goes for 9 minutes, and it's just I keep mixing up the tall one, short one, or fat and skinny, if you remember all those jokes. But one is basically going, "Who's on first?" Yes, and it causes drama. What's the best way of explaining it, Bruce? There's that tension between it because it's not conflict, but it is
friction.
Yeah.
It's just the straight man and the comedy man. It's got to be the oldest shtick in comedy. It goes right back to Laurel and Hardy, everything, right?
Yeah,
well, this is another fine mess you've gotten us into.
Yeah,
it's the yin yang of laughter, sort of.
Yeah.
And I really do hope you consider writing Irony Man for real, because I don't know if you've noticed, but the quality of entertainment out there is it's painful.
Well, we've got a writer in our midst. Maybe we'll have a really short script story called Irony Man.
Well, what we can do is write 5 pages of script, and we can do a radio play on this, and we can try and do it that way.
Yeah,
I'll get right on that.
A lot of people are bored out there right now,
Yes, and then Tanya's like Ironing Man.
I would watch Ironing Man. That's how bad it's got.
Oh, look at those creases. That's fantastic.
Yeah, look at him go.
So Ironing Man is best friends with Pedantic Man.
Yeah, there's your straight man in comedic.
This is a whole genre unfolding. Think about it: Irony Man, Pedantic Man,
Captain Obvious.
Yeah, it's almost a little alternate universe with forming. But I'm pretty much tapped out. If you guys want to give someone else a try, but I appreciate you bringing me on. This is fun.
Thanks for calling into the show, Jimmy. We're gonna call it an end to the show today because I've been talking for nearly 10 straight hours, and I need to have a break from talk.
We get the point.
Talk some more. All right, Monty, why don't you give away people to get a hold of you?
On YouTube, it is Wafer Thin Entertainment, and that's where you can find this replay. Will be up in a week, as well as Robert finds the stuff. On Twitter, if you go into that battlefield, at Real Monty Dean, Facebook Monty Dean. On Instagram, it's Monty.Dean. On PocketNet, on Odyssey as Wafer Thin, and on Anchor FM as Wafer Thin Entertainment. And with Anchor FM, I'm actually on Spotify, so hey, not on a wink. Apple Podcasts, and I'm on 8 different things. So I actually have to write out a list of everything I'm on, and it's probably going to be 17 things. And occasionally, I'm on public transport.
Bruce, do you want to give a little spot about yourself?
Amazon.com, Bruce McDonald. I've got fiction and nonfiction up there. Got a book coming out with Andrew June 15th. There's a great read for this crowd up there already called Stardust Ranch, The Incredible True Story. If you like Skinwalker Ranch, you're going to love this.
You're going to love that. You all know who I am. We can go to my website, andrewbartzis.com, and be on the lookout. In about 1 month, a book will be coming out. All right, Robert, take us away.